Vintage got the heat.
Welcome to Unpacked Radio. I'm Norris the Pope Johnson. I got my man Twin in the building, aka 5'2" in the building, United States Marine Corps. And we waiting on DC Baddest. She's stuck in somebody's circle somewhere, but we are talking about real estate.
Yes. Good evening. Happy Thanksgiving, happy Friday, happy Black Friday. I hope you ain't spent too much money, because you need to be spending more money on getting a house. I understand you want this new Xbox and this new PlayStation, but if you can get you a new living room, I think that'd be a little better.
Wait a minute, bro. So you telling me I can't have a 420 credit score and buy my Xbox 5 and still get a house? That's what
I'm just saying, if you got a 420, you need to save your money and get your score up to get the house.
You saying I got to build on my points?
You should. That should be more important.
You know what, man?
I mean, Warcraft ain't that exciting in somebody else's apartment. You know what I'm talking about? Get your own place. I'm telling you, it's way better in your own basement.
Now, what if I'm one of those dudes that I like the house jump? You know what I mean? You know those dudes. Your chain on the mic. Your chain on the mic. Put up.
I'm sorry about that. Go ahead.
2 chains. I said,
now?
what if I'm one of those dudes that like to jump around from house to house? What about that?
Buy more than one house then.
Buy one house?
I mean, if you can. But why you want to jump around from house to house? That means you living with somebody else.
Hey, man, you know, back in the day. But we got two experts. We got one that specializes in getting you in the house. We got one that specializes in buying the house, flipping the house, renting out the house. So we're going to talk to them. How about that?
Yeah, that's 2 different aspects of the real estate game. That's excellent.
All right, we'll be right back in 1 minute.
Vintage got the heat.
Hey, welcome back to Unpacked Radio. I'm Norris the Pope Johnson. I got me my man Twin, aka 5'2" in the building. And I have my favorite new Facebook friend, Miss Tiffany, aka Miss Relative, because she gonna teach us how to get the house.
Okay.
I'm trying to get a house with like a 420 credit score and see if that's gonna work. I'm pretty sure she's gonna shoot all that down, but we're gonna find out. Tiffany, my first question: what type of credit score do I need to have just to start the process of getting a house?
I think you can have a credit score of 300, and apply. I mean, the best thing to do is to see where you at and kind of figure out where you go from there. A lot of good lenders, they'll pull your credit, do a score sense to say, okay, well, your score is at 300. If you get a credit card, if you pay this down, we'll get your score to a 5. The lenders that I work with, they work with 580 score. So as long as your score is a 580, they can pretty much do whatever. So I would say just apply and see what you need to do.
So what do you specialize in? Do you specialize in selling, refinancing, or everything?
I specialize in the buyers, buyer purchases. Refinancing, that's kind of more so a lender's aspect of it. But when it comes to real estate, you have some agents that are more so listing agents, which they sell the house for custom clients. But I kind of am on the other side that I help buyers look for homes or
you
get
work
into
with-
house.
So if we're trying to buy a home, then we can be coming to you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so my question is, what are some of the do's and don'ts of buying? What do you suggest not to do? Because I know they tell you not to do certain things when you're trying to buy a house. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things you shouldn't do when you're trying to buy a house?
I think the biggest thing is don't incur additional debt. Don't go buy a house. Go buy cars. Don't run your credit cards up. Keep your credit cards at under 30% usage. Those pretty much the two big things.
Okay. What are some of the things you can do to help yourself if you're preparing to buy a house?
Save money. Make sure you pay your bills on time. Those are two big major things. Pay your bills on time and save some money.
All right, my next question. When I first meet you, I'm ready to buy the house. What do you recommend? What is your first step to buying a house? Is it
Apply for the mortgage.
apply for the mortgage with one of your lenders, outside lenders?
Well, you can pretty much choose whatever lender. What I do is I kind of ask fact-finding questions to my clients to kind of see which lender may kind of fit what they are looking for. I work with lenders that have first-time home buyers programs. I have lenders that they may not be a first-time home buyer, but they still have programs that's 100% financing. So it just depends on the client's current situation. If somebody has a 580 score, okay, I already know exactly who I want to send them to. So it just depends on that particular person.
All right, and then your next step after I got the loan, I got 120 to work with. Mm-hmm. How many houses are we going to start off looking at? What area are you going to put me in?
Well, I kind of, what I do is kind of gauge my client to see what exactly they're looking for, whether it's a townhouse, if they're looking for a single-family home, and also what their price range that they're shopping in. I do not like to kind of encourage my clients to go over their budget because at the end of the day, their purchase is something that they'll be in likely for 5, 10, maybe 15 years. So it just depends on what they're looking for.
Do you work with veterans? Do you have loan companies that do VA
Yes,
loans?
VA loans are 100%. So they have awesome. Even though they are responsible for getting their closing costs, a lot of times what I try to do is kind of get a lot of their closing costs covered within the transaction. So it makes it 100% financing.
Are you all over the DMV? Do you do
Yes.
Virginia, Maryland, and
All,
DC?
yes, all of
Okay.
them. So.
What do you like dealing with? Do you like doing do you like big homes, or do you like small homes, or it doesn't really matter? Or
It really doesn't matter to me. Just as long as my client likes it. My thing is just making sure that I can look back at my client and like, oh, okay, this house fits them. Like I can say in the past, since my career has increased within real estate, I can look back on all the houses, well, for the past 2 years and say, okay, my client, that's their character, that's their house, that's
so
their.
is that what brings you joy with doing real estate?
Absolutely.
That you see the happiness and
Yep, and
see
I've-
families finding their forever home, or nowadays most people it's a forever home till your kids get grown and you got kids, or if you're single and you finally get a real job or you're making real money, you say I want to buy a house. Is that what brings you joy? Just seeing
Absolutely.
the excitement and the enthusiasm when they find that
Yeah,
special place?
and I send them a Facebook request, and it's just so amazing that I see a lot of them doing repairs in their house. I watch them have family gatherings. A lot of people who come to me don't even know that they can buy a house. They sometimes come to me with like a 540 score or 500. I'll be like, okay, what's stopping you from buying that? Well, I don't have any money. Well, I got something for that. Well, I'm not. Well, why not? So a lot of times people are more appreciative, when they thought they couldn't own it. So yeah, I send Facebook requests to all of them, and I just watch their journey through their home buyer process when they're with me and after, and it's definitely exciting.
That's good to hear, because I think a lot of people at times really don't believe they're in a position to buy a home. Mm-hmm. And I think we don't understand. It's very difficult. It's a lot of paperwork. It definitely is a lot of paperwork, especially in the end. You seem like you signing your name away forever. But it's out here. There's a possibility. It's just a matter of focusing in on what you want and what's a priority. Mm-hmm. I think everybody should at some point own a home.
Absolutely.
I feel like that's just something that's special that a lot of people don't get to do. So if you have a chance, I think it's worth it. Mm-hmm. To build from that. But it's always great to hear from a realtor, somebody who's really out here doing it and making it happen for people that think they couldn't make it happen. That's in itself just exciting to hear. And for them, I thank you. They, I know some of them thank you all the time.
Well, I appreciate it.
It's great to hear that you do that because a lot of people don't realize how they can.
Yeah, that's the
grow.
most disheartening thing is to hear when you have somebody who's been renting an apartment for 15 years and, they come about, want to buy a house. And a lot of times, with people that's been renting for a long time, when they first initially go out, they like, well, I want a big house. And sometimes you just got to start from somewhere, and that's the biggest challenges for first-time home buyers is really understanding the market and knowing what your money can kind of do. Yeah, the barrels may not be as big as the apartments, but at the end of the day, you give yourself 5 years, and you can take equity out of the money that you spent on your mortgage to upscale and buy what you want. So definitely the biggest part is just jumping out there and just getting, what they call a starter home. So.
Okay. Now, what made you fall in love with real estate? That's my
Well,
main
I've
question.
been in sales for almost 15 years. So started out as a telemarketer. Then I worked for the Postal Service as a sales executive. And when I was working with the Postal Service, I did a presentation for Long & Foster. So when I did a presentation for Long & Foster, I kind of watched the people, listened to, they had done presentations as well. So I was like, you know what, I might could do this. So went and got my real estate license like the next week. Well, not the next week, it took like maybe a month, but went and got my real estate license and did my first transaction. I was like, wow, I think I'm going to do this. So I took off my first year and never looked back. I left the post office, I want to say last year, and I went for real estate full time. So
Congratulations.
thank you so much.
How hard was it to qualify or to get your real estate license?
Oh, it's not hard at all to get your real estate license. I think to be successful, that's kind of the different elements of it. A lot of people have their real estate license, but not a lot of people are productive or successful. I think a lot of my sales skills that I've had in the past with negotiations and things like that kind of help build, my platform that I'm on.
Now I have a question. Do you have children?
Yes.
How does that work? Because I know with real estate it can be tricky. You can be you can get a call to tonight.
Oh, those are my riding partners. We hop right in the car. And that's why my clients love me because I'm real. Like, my babies be right in the back seat. We be riding around looking at houses, but I make sure I treat them good. Like, we go on vacations.
That's a good question I have because,
yes.
I have, actually my daughter is interested in real estate. She has children, and I'm like, just wondering how that works. Is it possible? And it's always good to see that somebody's making it happen.
And hopefully one day I'll be able to have a nanny. Then, well, we're going to get there. But yeah, that's the good thing about having your own business, that you can pretty much do what you're going to do, what you want to do.
Okay.
So
are you with a company or are you just
I'm under Goldston Real Estate.
Oh, Goldston Real Estate?
Yes.
So is that like I know,
It's a brokerage.
Like being a lawyer in a big law firm or kind of equivalent to that?
Yeah.
Working towards partner at some point to get.
Well, yeah, I'm working towards my brokerage license to open up my own brokerage. So.
Okay.
Yeah, when
So
you
that's
get your
the
real
next
estate
step?
license, you have to hold your license for 3 years, and then you're qualified to get your brokerage license.
So what does a brokerage license allow you to do?
It allows you to work to open your own real estate brokerage, so you don't have to work underneath someone. If you're a real estate agent, you have to work under a broker. So when you get your broker's license, you're the broker, so you can run and work for
So
yourself.
when you get the brokerage, you can completely be separate, or can you also be like a subsidiary of that
You can do both. But my long-term goal is to kind of work underneath my own brand.
Okay.
If other agents may want to come in and see what I'm doing and work along with me, but that's my long-term goal, is to open my own brokerage.
That's what's up. Miss Tiffany, now how much money do you need for a down deposit for a house?
Well, it just depends. Like, it just depends on what areas you're open to. Like in this area, they have areas that are considered rural areas, which is 100% financing. It also depends on your credit score. If your credit score is over 640, we can get you with 100% financing. And also you got the loans like VA if you're a veteran. But if you don't, if you have, let's say, for instance, a 580 score, and you have a 580 score, and you don't want to live in one of the rural areas like Akakeet, what else is a rural area? Brandywine, Bryan's Road, those areas are kind of considered USDA areas. I would say about 10,000 to 20,000. But a lot of people say, well, I'll find something in Akakeet. I never wanted to live there before, but if I only have to come to the table with $2,000, well, I'll go to I could keep. Because a lot of times people are renting houses, and the down payment for the deposits for houses are 2 months rent. So that's almost like $4,000. So I tell them, like, instead of you spending $4,000 to put down for deposit and rent, I could take you to somewhere and you can buy your own house.
That's what's up.
So
Now, my other half, when she was looking for our house, she had an issue with people taking her to a bunch of stuff she did not want to see. What is your approach to taking people out and actually looking at the house that they're going to have to live in for the next 30 years?
well, it just depends on your budget. So, you get a lot of clients like that, and I kind of say, okay, well, if you're shopping in the $200,000 to $300,000 price range, then this is what you're going to get for $200,000, $300,000, because you really can't like dictate how much the house is. So a lot of times I say it, again, it's a starter home. So if you get something, I'm not saying go into something that the water's coming off the roof and things like that, but if it needs a little maybe update and things like that, that's something you could do along the lines. Or you can go and, maybe spend a little more, but that's most of the time the problem is depending on how much the price range is.
That's interesting. Now, as far as just real estate in general, and I know you say you've been doing it for what? How long have you been doing it now?
3 years.
3 years. So you came in after the big drop
Yes,
and all of
yes.
that stuff. So has it picked back up? Is it a buyer's market right now? Is it a seller's market?
No, really, it's more so I would say a seller's market. But it's always going to be people that want to buy houses. So it just depends on your situation. If you have money, it's golden. So a lot of times, maybe a year ago, I can get maybe 4 or 5% of closing help for my clients. Right now, it's so competitive that a lot of sellers are not even giving it away. So I would say it's good for the buyers because the interest rates are cheaper, but it's very competitive. So you could put contracts on like 3, 4 houses and they'll, accept another offer. So.
And I'm glad you brought up interest rates because I've been getting a lot of calls about refinancing personally. Like a lot of calls, a lot of mail coming in saying, we can get you down to this and to that. Is it really beneficial to refinance? Like if I've been in the house 3 years, does it make sense if I do it in the first 1 to 5 years, or is it better to do it 10 years down the road, or?
It just depends on what your interest rate is currently. So maybe 2 years ago, the interest rate might have been 4%. Or 3.75%, but if the interest rates drop down, I'm not quite sure what they are. Maybe like 2.95.
Like 2.5, 2%.
Oh my goodness, that's that's almost like a $300-$400, maybe like a 300.
So
one to 300.
Worth it to
Absolutely.
Even just look into it.
Absolutely, I would definitely reach out to somebody and say, okay, how much is my mortgage going to be if I take this? Because it's a couple of $100 difference.
Okay.
Hold that door, Miss Tiffany. We'll be right back in 1 minute. I can hear him at the door. See, I got super hearing.
Vintage got the heat. Vintage got the heat.
Say that.
Hey, welcome back to Unpacked Radio. I'm your host, Norris Pope Johnson. I got with my man Twin,
Mr. 5-2
Mr. 5-2 in the building. DC Bandit has joined us.
has joined us.
Yes,
The legend has returned.
the legend.
It's official. She's
Yes,
back.
3 the hard way back in the building,
All the way
baby.
back in the building.
And we got
Yeah.
Miss Tiffany, my favorite new Facebook friend, and she gonna help us get these daggone houses.
AKA Miss Realtor.
Yes.
That's what
Yes.
she go by.
Ain't you gorgeous, girl?
Oh,
I had
thank
to,
you
you
so
know, we
much.
gotta do a full up and down. You beautiful.
Thank you. You are as
beautiful.
well. Thank you
Oh,
so
thank you,
much.
Thank you. No, I was saying it because in your industry, you know, a lot of people tend to make sure that if they have somebody representing their team, if you look good, they look good. Do you find that?
I mean, I really don't pay attention too much what people
Girl,
do.
bye. Stop it. No, let's be uncensored. Be honest.
I don't.
You really don't?
I don't. I make my money. I mean, you know, I help my clients, and that's all I can focus on. You know, a lot of people, you know, have these different ways of doing things, and that's how they do it. But I look at it
Okay.
like this is my business. I do it how I do it, and that's just it.
So how long you been in the business?
3 years.
3? Okay.
So your work
So how
speaks
do
for
you like
itself.
it?
It's absolutely. I love it. I love it.
Okay, so now and I am, my husband is deceased now. My husband died about 3.5 years ago. We had a home, but it was really his mother's home. So now I want to venture out and do my own thing. Like, I'm so scared, but I want to move to a different city. I want to go to Atlanta or I want to go to Charlotte. So
All the time, man. Like, this a long-term contract. You have to move to Upper Marlboro. You have to move to Siouxland.
no.
I'm sorry,
She
but
can help me do, and that's a good thing. Could you help me move to somewhere else? Are you still
Absolutely.
get the benefits?
Well, no. I mean, I just want people to see people buy homes. So if I can connect you with a agent in whatever area, I'll make it happen.
Okay. So do you do, so with that being said, my daughter just started her catering business. She wants to move into a space where she just cater, you know, pick food up, drop food off, or whoever wants to pick food up, drop food off. So what you gonna do about that? How would you lead me, or what direction would you lead me in?
Okay,
She's asking, do you do commercial real estate?
That's not my primary focus. I
Okay.
kind of do just traditional,
Thank you.
regular residential sales, but I can connect you with someone that does.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Well,
what we
Yeah, that's
need.
one thing about real estate. You network with a lot of people, so
So
you know.
even if you can't necessarily do
I
what we
will
ask,
I
you will be able to
absolutely.
connect us in So that's something to remember also that's important. she can move around and connect us with different aspects of the real estate game.
Okay.
Which is
that
always
commercial real
important.
estate runs by square feet, so it doesn't run like a house.
Yeah, so it's completely different.
It's a
So
completely
it's a
different
different money too.
And does that also have to factor in with your credit? Even if, so if I'm a person that has different, I'm Alicia Coe, but I have DC's baddest, I have DC's baddest collection, I have MSK and D, I have all these other interests. So how does that, do you understand what I'm saying?
So you have a business. So it's all
Yes.
about it's all about how you file your taxes. Your credit score, as
Okay.
long as you have a 580 credit score, you could pretty much do what
You
you
said
want.
580?
Yes, 580.
Oh.
So
580 people, do you hear me? Did you hear her? Because people think that, no, I'm
Exactly.
so serious, that you can't do nothing. For the good for nothings that are just laying on a good for nothing, you can always go out here and build your brand off of 580.
that's it. And I
Thank
tell
you.
people, again, if you got 400 or 300, just come to me and we're going to make a plan. So whether it's today or it's next year, at least you have a
Exactly.
plan that
That's
next year
beautiful.
is going to be the last year that you rent.
Exactly,
So,
that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. I'm sorry.
oh, it's
Go
good.
ahead, guys.
I have a question.
Okay.
Because I'm trapped in a messed up situation.
Okay.
A messed up situation. I helped my sister back when I was young and single and didn't have no concerns for a house, co-signed for a house. She refused to let me go. Refused to let me out of this situation. What would you recommend?
Well, I'm not really versed in the litigation part of real estate. That's more like a real estate attorney's question. So I would, if you were looking for a real estate attorney, I can recommend you to
I need that hookup.
I got you.
I need that hookup. You put that in my DM with before you leave today.
I got you. I got
I
you.
definitely need that hookup because I need my freedom because I got some houses I want to flip. I got to be moving out here.
Yeah, and I guess the biggest thing is probably going to play a factor is if, when she does kind of refinance, is she able to afford it by herself? Because that would be the only thing that would keep you
Yeah,
in.
she makes some good money.
Well, then you good.
What we do, she make good. She don't need. I'm not responsible for the payments of the house. I'm just on the paperwork of the house.
So you just want your name on for the
I just want
house.
my name. I just want my good name, bro. I literally applied for. I have a 700 plus credit score. I applied for a credit card for an iPhone to get the little free computer. They denied me because of her house.
The debt to income
So
ratio.
that means, oh wow.
I literally have a 7 above.
I mean, but is
credit
she
score.
making the payments then? It sounds like she
She
might not
making
be
the
making.
payments. It's not
It
because
sound like
her
a debt
house
to
is
income.
like 199 above. So they look at her house and all my other BS and say, "You owe that house. You cannot afford this." So I'm like literally, I want to buy houses. I want to flip houses. I want to make some moves out here. Plight of the black family.
Well, he
bro.
might,
Yeah,
the next
we
guest
gonna-
up, he
we
might, he
gonna
gonna
ask my
show.
man. My
Our
man,
next
my
guest-
man got a
He
smile on
gonna
his
help
face.
you.
So
Yeah.
my man, this my
gonna
co-worker.
teach
We want to
He
we
got-
want to definitely acknowledge Miss Realtor for all her great information and great wisdom. We appreciate everything that you've told us. It's good information, and we behind the scenes we may still have a few questions, but
I'm here.
we just want to let you know right now we appreciate all the information that you've been giving to
Oh,
us.
well, thank you for having me.
Yes. I do apologize for being late due to, girl, your mom, how that goes. I don't know if your mother or not, but anyway, I was dying to get here because I am in the process of relocating. So I'm boxing up my house now. I'm not sure if I want to do the Charlotte area or the Atlanta. And I do have a real estate agent who is my cousin. She, the 5-bedroom. I'm living in a apartment now with it's 3 bedrooms. I had 5 children, so the older 2 are out. So everything fits perfect. The boys are sharing rooms, but you know how they get. The boys are 7 years apart. So, girl, it's time for us to venture out. And I just thought about moving away. The mental thought of moving away, and then, I had to go through the whole process because I'm in therapy. But why do you want to move? And why would you want to move to so far? Like, I really want to go to Atlanta. I really want to go to Charlotte. And I do believe that it is a cost living thing.
Yeah, it's definitely more affordable.
It's
in
definitely
the
more
South.
fun. And I do everything with my hands as far as my job is concerned. I'm a hairstylist, I'm a DJ, I'm a bartender. You know,
I'm gonna have to get your card. You have a card?
I'm sorry?
We all got cars up
Oh, I'm
here.
gonna have to take your
Oh,
card.
yes. I'm a DJ. Everything I do very well. So I'm very known in the area. But I think I'm just going to take DC's baddest to Atlanta. DC's baddest in Atlanta. Anybody DC come to Atlanta?
Ma'am, I'm sorry, but this is a long-term contract. You cannot leave us until you cannot leave us. We not gonna be doing no Zoom from you in
That's
Atlanta.
what you gonna have to do.
We ain't got time to be playing those games. Now, Tiffany, my final question. I want you to look directly at that camera. And I want you to tell everyone why it's important to get your house.
It's a long-term investment, not only financially, but you'll have somewhere that's going to be there for years and years and years for your family, your family's family, and their family. So, get your house and make sure I'm your realtor.
Get your house.
Give me more information before you check out.
Okay, I'm Tiffany Lewis. You can find me on Facebook, Tiffany Lewis, Instagram, Ms. Realtor, MZZZ Realtor. And my telephone number is 240-722-7880.
One more time for us slow people that need to get a pen.
It's 240-722-7880.
Thank you for coming.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back in 1 minute.
Vintage got the heat. Vintage got the heat. Vintage got the heat.
Hey, welcome back. You back with a new guest, with a new speaker, so give us some more information on this realty game. His name is Damien. He's going to tell us about
Damien.
flipping and making moves as an individual business to make things happen. You still got the Pope, still got DC's baddest, and now we got Damien. So, Damien,
Yes, sir.
what exactly do you do in the real estate game?
Me in the real estate game, I do it all right now. W&M Development LLC is my construction company, and then I do also purchase rentals, and that one is under another company, and I do that mostly by colleges and by hospitals because I rent each room out. It's more value. You get more. You're getting more bang for your buck than they're renting out the whole house just to one family.
So you buying frat houses? You making frat houses? Sorors, all you deltas and AKAs.
Well, I am the bruh.
Okay,
So.
he doing it that way. He buy the whole complex and just the deltas on one wing, the AKAs on the other. That's a nice little hustle. So you do construction also?
Yep, I do construction. I got into that because my first real estate deal actually was going to rent something, and I just had a conversation with my father. He was like, the area you're going, you might as well just buy. So I ended up finding a home and did a 203K loan on it. Boom, I went through that process, but I noticed that the same thing the contractor was doing, I could do that. You know what I mean? So then I could keep my money, and then doing that, I control the actual budget of what I'm doing. And then plus in that, I also put a win in there for myself because I pay myself as the
contractor.
GC. So that gives me more control. So say if I say your budget is 100 or something like that, it maybe just costs 80 or 90. But say if I did 10 of those at $10,000 a pop, I done made myself extra $100,000 this year. You know what I mean? So sometimes you just gotta build your win in there. And then, like I said, you cut out the middleman and the money because I manage everything. So it means I'm more hands-on. I have more control of what's going on at my site.
So you controlling basically every aspect of it, the buying, the refurbishing, or the fixing, or because a lot of times when you go into property, especially when you're buying a house, when you go through the stages, a contractor comes in and tells you, okay, this is what needs to be fixed for you to be able to, if you're selling it, they tell you this is what needs to be fixed for you to sell it and to meet the guidelines. And if you're buying it, they have their own person come in and look at it and say, this is what we want fixed before we're gonna buy it if you want to sell it at this price.
Man, you figure the numbers is everything. If it's not in real estate, take out the emotions. If the numbers don't make sense, let it go.
That's a
great.
Say that again, please.
If the numbers don't make sense, let it go because it's going to be a bad investment. Because now a lot of days, we got all the TV shows, so everybody wants to fix up their house a certain way. But if your house is in a certain neighborhood, it's not going to appraise for what you think. And then as you as the buyer, listen to the realtor. This is what you are acquiring them for. You can do all your independent stuff, but if they have their foot out there in that street, they know this is only a $200,000 house once you fix it up. But if you keep saying it's $250 and you put all these luxuries in it, and you only get that $200, that was a bad investment, right?
Yes.
So you got to be mindful of what's going on in your area. Those comps is what it is. Sometimes you can luck up and you create the comps. You know what I mean? Now
what are comps?
Comps is basically what's selling in the market. So say if you buy a house and it's your neighbor sold for $200, they sold for $300. So you got a rough idea. The same house, but it has to be the same house. So it's got to be the same number of bedrooms, bathrooms, garages, square footage. It's got to be mostly the same because you got to compare. You got to compare it to
identical features, pretty much.
And then you go on for there. But like with me, I buy distressed property. So realtors sometimes don't like us because I'm negotiating the price. Like, I need it for this. So like, I have a couple of realtors in certain areas. Like, I want distress. It may have a little bit of equity. Got to have some type of upside, but I want the ugliest house on the best block. And we listen, majority of them we'll pay cash. We no contingencies. We're gonna buy it cash from you.
And I just had to jump in real quick. I went through this situation about 2 years ago. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with the Eastover area of Washington, D.C. And I had a house, 5 bedrooms, beautiful, big backyard, front yard. And because it was the way that it was in the time, because of the new, what they call it, the new National Mall, the
zoning, I guess? Or?
No, because of the zoning, it was included into the, I can't think of what it's called. What is that place? The National Harbor? But you could just.
Because it was rezoned. That brought all the prices of the houses up and stuff like taxes.
It took everything up.
Taxes and everything, right?
It took everything
I know
up.
what you're talking about.
So the taxes on my house went up, but I was trying to figure out, if I want to sell my house, why can't I get the property value for what they're going to give it to somebody else for versus me taking a low price. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they wanted to give it to me for like $220,000 when it was really worth $440,000.
And that, I mean, I would roughly think if that had that 400 some thousand, I guess that was if that house was completely done up and fixed. So when they came and gave you appraisal of it, of as it is right now, they would have gave you that whatever 200. But if you'd have invested and put the money, you could have got it at that probably at that $400,000 threshold.
So as a single woman coming to the table without any attorney or anything with me, would I have needed somebody to just push that forward, or could I have just stood on my own and said, hey, I know that it's worth more? Do you understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes they'll take advantage of you if you don't know.
Yeah, if you don't know.
They think that you don't know what you're doing. So should you always make sure that you have that, attorney, which costs, it does cost, or do you just make sure you just stay your ground and say,
you as yourself,
more?
you always want to protect yourself and your investment. It's always good to counsel a lawyer. Like I said, I'm not a lawyer, so it's like in that litigation, there's some certain courts of realtors. That's what lawyers are there for. Always have them there where they can go over things, because once you sign it, you sign it.
Yeah.
And a lot of us, you don't read the fine print, but once you sign it, you sign it. It doesn't, ignorance is not bliss in that moment. If you sign it, you sign it.
So true.
Well, and also we have to be smart about, all lawyers don't charge just to give. Sometimes lawyers do free consultations. So you have to research and see which lawyers are willing to do that. Because some of them will sit down with you and you can go over what's going on with you, and they can give you advice for free. Or there are some lawyers, like I went to a lawyer once and it was like $300-400, and he only talked to me for 20 minutes. But what I needed done, that $400 was worth in them 20 minutes.
Good.
So you have to determine, how important it is, because sometimes it's not about spending. Everybody thinks when you go see these lawyers automatically $5,000.
Right.
Sometimes for a couple $100, you can sit down in there and talk to you about your situation.
Yes, I'll do it for you.
And a good one will tell you, or a good honest lawyer, which is maybe hard to find, but a good honest lawyer will tell you if it's even worth it. He may say, well, this is not worth it, you're not going to win this. Or he may say, this is worth it, you may have a chance to win it. So keep that in mind. It's not, as much as you think it is sometimes to talk to lawyers. Some of them do it for free. The first consultation is just free. But you have to find one.
Okay.
Now I have a question. What's the process of buying a house that you want to flip or rent out? What's the process? Because we was having a conversation, and you said, I like to use other people's money.
Yeah,
I went home, I told my wife about what's a hard money lender. She looked at me like I had a third eyeball. I was like, well, you know what? I got a man. I work with him. He's in the game. He's going to explain it to you.
Yeah. I think, explaining that would be the one thing, is that you have to change your mindset. Like us, sometimes some of us, we never came, probably live in an apartment. I grew up in a trailer. Like we don't have that lot of ownership, and we don't leverage what we have. So leveraging your credit, your friends, because really your network is your network. Because me and you were talking, you didn't know I did that. So, but if we never had a conversation, you wouldn't know, or I couldn't explain to you what it was. But I say that like we have to change our mindset during things that we can achieve things in different ways. So going as a hard money lender is simply, and rough is like, they like the bank, and instead of and if you qualify, and mostly that's just leveraging your assets and your credit, which you have wonderful credit scores. So they'll do a little portfolio on you, boom, run everything, and before you go to them, you already got to have the house, like what you want. Okay, we're gonna go get this. You got to have the agreement on, so they already know what's up, and they'll give you 65%, and that's going to include the purchasing and the rehab of it, because when you cash out refi, majority they'll give you 70 to 75% of that. So
you gonna need to slow down just a little bit for us, because all that you saying right now, 65%, 75%.
Break it down as simple as possible for the home view.
So what you're saying, basically, if you're going in to buy for all of these different things, this is something that you need to know. This is the fine print stuff, right?
Yeah,
basically, because you told some stuff like that I never even heard of before.
And when you come into the hard money lender side, and if you want to get into the investment, if you're trying to scale quickly, this is another tool you got to have in your toolbox. So instead of just having good credit, and you could do a FHA, And with that, I'll tell people.
FHA.
First time home
And
buyer.
if you are a first time home buyer,
Okay.
I recommend don't buy a house for yourself. Because with that,
You said you recommend
I
that
recommend
you
you don't buy a house for yourself.
Okay.
I would buy an investment property because you can buy a duplex, quadplex, 2 unit, 3 unit, all the way up to 4 units.
don't. And why is that though?
Because like so say you said your daughter does cakes or whatever. So say you could buy the building, the bottom is commercial. Up top you got 1 or 2 apartments. So we know how it is the pandemic right now. So that means if you own the building and say business ain't that good, but you're still making money because upstairs you got 3 units that you're getting income on.
Oh wow.
And then when it comes to commercial is a lot more money, and that tenant has to sign probably like a 3 to 5 year lease with you. So they're in it. So you taking that income from that asset, and then you go buy your own home because your asset is paying for your home you live in now. So it's leveraging that to take that. So then you're not always coming out your pocket, and now this is paying for that. So that's a good one because the first home buyer is 3.5% off of whatever $300,000. You know what I mean? And then you can break that down. That's really not a lot of money at 3%.
Exactly.
Boom. So look, you done jumped in. Boom. Now you are an investor, and now you got real estate, and now you got assets, and now that's something you can pass on to your kids, and now you got this thing called generation wealth. So it's all
Exactly.
about changing the mindset and learning new things. So then becomes a hard example. The home I'm doing in Dover and Dover, Delaware. So basically, I bought the house, $25,000 cash. The house appraised at like 300 and some thousand. So when I go to the hard money lender, they're going to give me 65%. But with that, they want you to put skin in the game. But since I already own the house, I didn't have to put down that 20%. So whatever it is, the purchase and the rehab, you got to have the 20%, and then the hard money is going to give you the rest of it. And then mostly the terms is probably you have 9 months, sometimes to a year to complete your project. But people get held up on the interest because the interest can be 13, 14%. But most flips is 90 days or 120 days. So you're gonna let that payment. A couple of mine is I only my interest is only what I use. So okay, so it's like, so if you're taking that, you just so if you're gonna do that, you just gonna make that little monthly payment for 3 months. Your project's done. You're gonna cash out refi. Hard money's paid back, and everything else is yours. It's in your pocket. So then you take that and do it over again. And then also start to be mindful of what's going on in your neighborhood. So if you start seeing Chick-fil-A's and all this construction, gentrification. But the thing is, we get mad at gentrification, but we don't want to go buy the block. You can do the same thing. Everybody else is doing it. Don't get fearful of them people coming in. You can do the same thing. So all of us can come together. But you got 10, you got 5, I got 5, and all the time we don't always need to put in the same money because look, you got the credit, I got the cash, you got the experience.
So does
Let's
that
go.
mean something when you, because I don't own the home, that's the only thing, that area, because of the National Harbor and the golf thing that they build, my house is like literally next to everything. So once you get ready to go sell, it's just like, because you're by yourself, like I said, if you have an attorney or somebody that's ready to go hard, they'll definitely fight for you. But if you don't, my little house, I'm telling you, it's going to be worth something. Just because it's just right there on this. Do you all know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
The
I know what
harbor.
you're talking about.
Yes, the
Top golf.
older
Casino, by the
houses.
casino and
Yes,
Top
older houses. You know, and when
You
my
need to
husband
keep the
now.
house then. Keep the house.
Yeah,
That's all you need to do is keep
and
it.
it's empty right now. My husband and I, well, he's deceased now, but we were thinking about selling it back then. But I'm like, it's gonna be way worth more than, because of everything that's going on. But I need somebody to tell me, hey, you need to look into, X, Y, and Z, and make sure that you are doing the right thing. Because I don't want to just give it up. If it's something for the kids, okay, fine. But just to give it up and not know the benefits, and so say they give it to me for what I paid for it. But who's the benefit? You understand what I'm saying? So we need to be in knowledge a lot of people need to be in knowledge of that because they'll see their check and say, hey, shit, I'll take it. That little, $220,000, I'll take it. But you don't know what you really took. You know what I'm saying? And in retrospect of yourself. So I don't know. I'm sorry. I apologize. Talk too much. I'm always talking. But no, I'm all about my money. But I'm just saying that's the house that's sitting that I'm literally
You
thinking
probably
of.
need to talk to Miss Realtor about that.
Yeah.
That sounds like
That's who you need
a
to talk to.
one-on-one conversation. You can sit down with someone you
Okay.
can trust,
Not a
who can guide
problem.
you through the process.
Not a
And
problem.
unless she can get you appraisal and tell you how much it's worth.
There
Exactly.
you have it. That's why
That's
we
what
got
you're
these
trying to do.
That's only
resources.
$400.
Right. Yeah.
Well, he may be able to do that too, actually. Tell you
No,
how
I don't.
much
Yeah,
it's
I can. I don't do the appraisal, but I can put you in contact with somebody. That's
Yeah.
just a simple
That's
appraisal of your own.
excellent.
That's what
Yeah.
you're trying to figure
That's
out.
what we need to know. And then I have a question for you. So you are a real estate agent. So no, you're
he's
not.
I'm an investor.
What he
You
does
an
is he flip
investor?
houses.
I buy
flip.
them. I buy them and fix them up.
Yeah. So
Oh.
he buys properties, you sell them.
Okay.
No,
You
I
do rental properties,
I hold,
or you,
I hold.
So he does rental
I hold.
properties.
I hold everything.
So my question is, do you do commercial?
I
rental?
want to. I'm looking at a building now to buy as a commercial as an investor because on the bottom, it can be a whole commercial and then I can build 6 condos up top.
Commercial property also, like, have you dabbled in like maybe people who buy restaurants or
No,
you know,
not yet.
chains
Not yet.
and things
But that's
of that nature?
that's the type of facet that I also want to get into that.
Okay.
But like
Good.
I said, real estate's so vast that you don't need to touch everything. You can be
Specialize in one
and
particular area.
fine.
and
Like
make-
me, I specialize. I do the college rentals. That's my niche. I found my niche. That's what I
But
do.
see, I wouldn't mind doing something like that.
See,
my,
with that-
my mother-in-law stays
Right.
right by VC.
See what how I do my units is like everything day is by the phone. So I can control the house, the doors, the locks, the cameras, all through my phone. And then as my tenants have access to that. So like when you walk in your house, and plus you don't got to keep changing the locks when they move out. You just erase it. So if you was coming to the house, boom, you touching your pad, boom, you can come in. You go to your room. I have a key fob. You can either put the key fob on the door to go in, or you can put in your own code to go in. So your bedrooms, they got like I got
good.
the Bluetooth lights in the bathroom, so you can listen to your music. So basically, I give them everything, and then charge the premium price because just like down the street, they may pay $400 some. My tenants pay $825 for a bedroom.
Wow.
Paying with no problem, but everything's there. You walk in, you got a 50-inch TV on, you got a living room. I mean, you got two living
Is it
rooms.
fully furnished? You
Yep,
furnish
fully
the house?
everything. When you come to me,
So that's
all
worth
you, I tell people, all you need to bring is your linen and clothes. I take care of everything. One payment. We don't, and then I also give them bikes to
Get back and forth.
ride to school if you want.
That's
you
a
know
nice,
what I mean?
that's a nice
So-
comp.
So it's like the thing you just got to think of, just think of stuff like that, and it's like people. Of course they gonna knock it, but when they get it, they like wow, and then their friends come in, and then it's mostly word of mouth. When they move out, their friends move in. When they move out, their friends move in. You know what I
So
mean?
what are the credentials for you to be able to apply for such a place? What do you have to have?
For one of my places?
Yes.
Oh, I mean, you're just gonna
You have to have.
you're just gonna do the lease. Your parents are going to be on it because if something happened, they are also going to be responsible for it. But just like they are young adults, but I speak to them also with their parents. They're like, listen, I set the expectations. This is what I want. And as long as you do this, we don't have a problem.
Okay.
But if you start to put holes in the walls and do this and that, you gotta go.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You gotta be, you gotta protect your investment. But the parents love it. Once the parents go in it, it's signed like that. It's no negotiation. There's no cutting down on the price because really you marketing to the parents, not the kids. The parents are paying for it. And as a parent, if you have a daughter or son away from home, all these safety parameters, even a parent, if you want, I can give you the code and you can see how many times your child walked in and out of their bedroom if you want it. But I don't do that. I don't tell them that they could. But I mean, just as a parent, they just feel the safety. Like, okay,
Right.
dang, we got everything here and we don't got to worry about this. Love it. And you're not unpacking a bedroom. It's already there.
I have a question. It sounds like you provide excellent customer service. So why is customer service so important to you, especially when you're dealing with investments and trying to keep people coming back to you?
That's a great question. It's brand recognition. I got to build myself for you to know when you hear it, okay, I know they gave me this, that, and the third. And then sometimes I ain't front. Looking the way I do, I gotta go a little bit harder. You know what I mean? I gotta make sure everything's done properly and better than anybody else. Because naturally we come with the discount. That's the first conversation. But like I said, that's the most important thing is customer service. Like even when we do construction and stuff, I'll do it and you didn't have to ask me. I'll put that whatever house I do, I always do something extra that they didn't ask. So, oh man, you provided this. Like, cause me, everything is like the new futuristic Bluetooth by your phone. I may put a blue LED mirror that has a Bluetooth in it. You can listen to music. So all this stuff is what I do without you asking. You know what I mean? It's just that subtle touch that sets me different from everybody else. And then I'm upfront with it. I mean, I try to be as real as possible. But we also got to understand it's a business. I got to make money. And that's what it is. You're going to pay me what I'm worth. So we're not going to be negotiating like, no. If I'm going to give you the product, this is what I want. Because you're not going to do that to anybody else. So stop. So that's one of the things we got to get better at. Like, you should want to get paid for what you work.
You pay for what you get.
Amen.
Like, don't be dumb, because it's like this. If you start discounting, you always going to have the discount.
Always.
You always going to have to discount yourself. So then when you say, I need 25,000, but you get it for 10 over here. So how you going to explain that big jump? So from day one, if they don't like it, hey, you still, because this is a business for profit.
Now,
That's
my
awesome.
final question. I want you to look directly at the people and tell them why it's important for us to understand why we should use other people's money, how to use other people's money, and what's the ground level to get started, get your toe in the water.
I would say using other people's money, OPM is the best thing. I mean, you can have all the cash that you want, but why use your own if you can leverage? It's all about leverage. The wealthy do it. We got to continue to do it. You got to leverage what you got, from friends to assets to your credit. And the best way to do that is your credit. It's probably like $300 to start a LLC. You take that LLC, you leverage, you say you got a good credit score. You leverage that, you get business credit, you get a line of credit. Now, whatever activity you do is on your business. It's no longer on your individual name. And that's only $300 to do. You know what I mean? So these are the things. Then you can start buying your properties in that. But like I say, the biggest thing is your credit score. That's the number one thing that you have to protect. Stop co-signing and really become knowledgeable on it. And then when it comes to real estate, study. You have to submerge yourself on the lingo, what's going on, because you can have a conversation with somebody and then that person can check and see if you really know what you're talking about. So always be prepared for whatever you're trying to step into.
Okay, so you just hit a nerve. I have to say it's a nerve with me because that co-signing thing, I definitely did it with my sisters a couple of times, and my credit score was A1. And then I signed for a car for both of them at different times.
And it came back and bite you.
All I'm saying is, yeah, I'm still paying for it.
But you understand, credit can be repaired at any time. You can mess it up and repair it. So credit ain't like once it's bad, it's always gonna stay bad. You got to take the necessary steps to fix it back.
But credit is the basic thing that can cause you to, it can make or break your decision to get a house.
Yeah.
Like they will say, hey, you got you, no problem. They didn't have to look up anything. This one time I wanted my car. Oh, Miss Cole, you fine, you good. I was like, really? They didn't have no problem with just giving me my car. But what else do you need? So if you're gonna do it, let's do it in this 30-day time frame, because they check the credit and all that. I said, oh, absolutely. But what you don't know is that, when you do co-sign, and I want you to get into detail about co-signing for a person can cost you a lot. You think you're doing the right thing. You think this person is going to pay their bill on time. But it can cost you a lot.
Yeah,
Am I wrong or right?
You're right. You got to recognize you can't help everybody. That's one thing we got. You can't help everybody. Sometimes the best thing to say is no.
Yeah.
Russell, do you have a final question?
If you can give us one piece of advice about the real estate game, what would it be?
Anybody can do it. Anybody can do it. It's one of those things. It's the realm. Money's green. Mm-hmm. All you gotta do is put the play together. Your toolbox gotta be vast. So it's like I said, leverage from credit scores to assets. Like you said, they've been sending you things in the mail about refinancing. If your house has equity in it and you're comfortable with taking that equity, do it. If you want to, you can take the equity and fix up. You could fix up the house a little bit if you're trying to sell it, or you could go buy rent. Or you could go buy another house, or you could put down on something, or you could, it's so many things that you can do that it's real estate is really that vast. But yes, anybody can get into it. Like I said, begin to research because somebody's always gonna need somewhere to stay. And now we say with the interest rates that are low right now, and then what's going on with the COVID and all that type of stuff, there's a lot of things going on and moving and shaking, especially in these certain neighborhoods. With big gentrification, that's big. I mean, you can go to Baltimore, Cleveland, Detroit, buy a property for like $10,000. You know what I mean? But it's out there. You just got to be willing to sometimes travel. And I guess another tip was that you gotta learn. And it's okay to be uncomfortable in situations because you only grow when you are uncomfortable. So we got to get out of the habit of like, I'm not going to do nothing that's, that's how you grow. So if you want to take that journey in real estate, jump, go do it. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to sit back like, I should have, or you can't overanalyze everything. Sometimes you just got to do it. And that's the one that I say, just do it. Anybody can do it. But, take the ups with the downs and, you'll be good. Just surround yourself with good people. It's the biggest thing. From your wife, from your spouse, you gotta have the good support system. Your friends, because every time you got a good idea and somebody's always knocking you down, new friends. Your friends should be uplifting you. Hey, how can I help? This, that, and third. And then sometimes the person that's gonna help you is a stranger. Family,
That's the crazy
you gotta learn on that. Let them go. Because sometimes your family only see you as that person. They probably only see you as, he was in the military. Or they only see you as that. They're not going to see you as a businessman. So when you come with them with an idea, they're not going to listen because they only see you.
So, my question. So I watch a lot of real estate. I'm a do-it-yourself type of girl. So I watch everything. Staging, projecting things, birthday parties. I do all that. And it comes to a lot of times for me just watching real estate. I hate this mask. I'm sorry, y'all. I really do. It's driving me crazy. But for me to see you guys actually stage a house to sell it, like seriously, that's me. I want to be that person that stage it, but I want to be that person that's making that $330,000 commission. Did you understand what I'm saying? Like they're getting paid, and it seems like to me it's only in Los Angeles to where it's this great amount. To where I watch it in Idaho or I watch it in Maryland or DC or Virginia, it's a big difference. So my question to you is it all about the
market?
Yes, I was going to say the market, economy, like what?
It's the market.
It's the market. It's the location.
So is it better for you to take your business to Los Angeles where they're paying this big?
No.
But it's so
There's more competition out
expensive.
there.
It is. It's so expensive. It's so expensive. So, for me to say to you, like, how do you really know to know that somebody's making, $200,000 more on a house versus what you're making now? Like, that's crazy to me. Like, how do you feel about that?
Oh, that is not a question to me. You, Miss Real says that. I don't. I mean,
so that's
a
not
commission.
your field.
No. I'm all about. I find the ugliest property on your block, buy it dirt cheap, fix it up, and then if I can sell it or I rent it out, do Section 8. But like I said, I like to invest by hospitals and colleges because I can rent out every room in hospitals because they have. Traveling nurses. So, yeah. I mean, a bedroom in a certain area, one bedroom, I can get $1,000 for one bedroom. So, say if I got a house with 5 bedrooms, that's $5,000 off of that. So, it's like you just got to learn how to maximize everything.
Like, when you say Section 8, I think about a lot of people in my family or neighbors. Section 8, you know what that means. Like, I ain't even gonna lie, ghetto. I'm just throwing it out there. But everybody's not ghetto.
But they still need somewhere to live, and the government's going to pay for it. So I gladly take your money.
But how do you feel, and how do you deal with those?
Do you screen? Do you screen?
Again, I mean, just like how I do the college kids, you got to screen them.
Right.
And then you gotta figure, you aren't gonna know. Like, I could dress like this and mess your house up. I mean, sometimes just like my college kids, they get such a bad rap. But I'm like, I haven't had a problem yet. I've had a hole in the wall, and I taxed them. So if you damage, you get taxed. But I'm like, you can't get into what people say, like Section 8, they're all ghetto, blah, 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 or like college kids are terrible. Right. No, you know what I mean? Because if you keep listening to that, you're never going to take that you never going to do anything because you're like, oh man, something bad going to happen. But
don't talk yourself out of it.
Yeah, we can get in a car, get in car accident. I mean, anything can happen, but you just got to take the first step and do it. You know what I mean? You can't, because the one person you gotta pump up every day is yourself. Sometimes you got to look in that mirror and tell you, hey, listen, I can do it.
Know it.
Because somebody always gonna have that. The first thing people say, they always recognize the most bad. You can do 1,000 good things. That one time you mess up, is the rest of your life. So this is what it is.
Okay.
Don't be scared.
Now,
So okay, go ahead, Pope.
I'm about to wrap this puppy up.
Okay, I got 1,000 questions.
Yeah, but before I let you go, because I just jumped on something, DC Baddest made a good point. Do you use a property management team to help you out?
Right now, I do that on the house. I manage my own properties. I have that, I do that also too. So right now, I'm not that big where I need it, but eventually, yeah, because you want to task people to do what they're good at, because then I can focus my time on something else, because my time is money, so I don't need to do that no more. But right now, I can handle that. It's not that hard. Like I said, I do it all by the phone.
I know that. And now we in the stage where everything is done virtually, so that's absolutely awesome.
Well, thank you, dear brother, for coming.
Always.
Appreciate the knowledge.
Ain't no
Yes.
time.
You dropped some jewels.
Yes.
We'll be back.
I'll
in 1
be
minute.
moving soon.
Vintage got the heat.
Hey, welcome back to Unpacked Radio. I got to be DC Baddest, who trying to sneak off to Atlanta, and I'm letting her know it's a long-term contract. You ain't going nowhere. I got my man Twin, a.k.a. 5'2".
Twin, that's my
Dirty
baby.
Soft, a.k.a. how your mama them doing?
How was them collard greens last night? Yes.
Now,
Did you
final statement to both of you. folks.
Is this the final statement?
My final statement.
Okay,
Because I
go
wanted
ahead.
to do this in the beginning. So I'm going to do it now.
Okay.
I'm going to get a little sensitive.
Oh, I was about to say, you sound real soft right now.
I'm
I don't
getting
know.
Don't sound like no alpha male to me.
Oh, shit, here we go.
sensitive right now, baby. To both my co-hosts, I'd like to thank you first and foremost for joining me on this long and crazy journey. Because I know it's sometimes rocky, but we always make it through what we make it through together.
Yes.
And I appreciate you guys giving me an hour or 2 hours out of your time every Friday, and we're going to make it. Last week was our most successful video on YouTube. And for those who catch us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe because we had 86 people watch us. And
Subscribe,
next
y'all.
time we need y'all to subscribe to our YouTube so we can blow up.
Subscribe. That's what he's trying to say.
Same thing.
Subscribe.
Comment,
He country.
and like. And you know what?
Subscribe.
And he from DC. I'm from Atlanta. He from DC.
Yeah, he sounds so country.
You know what I mean? DC speaks out.
Subscribe.
That's what y'all speak. Southeast.
Subscribe. Y'all subscribe and like.
Now, DC,
Yes.
I got a band law coming up, but what's your final statement?
For tonight, I honestly believe that everything happens in time and everything happens for a reason. So me going through the process of now getting my credit together due to my husband's demise and finding myself, I really want my house. Although I have 5 children, all 5 kids might not even live in a house. But I want a 5-bedroom house. I don't know if anybody else feel like that,
You can
but
get that in Upper Marlboro or Suitland. No
I
Atlanta,
can live
no
in
LA.
Georgia. I can go somewhere
okay.
and pay $2,000 or less for what I'm paying. Now, come on now. But I will say to everybody, never, ever, ever, ever kill your dreams. Live for yourself. Live for the moment. Live for today. And live in peace and not pieces.
That's
God
what I say.
bless.
Twin, what's your final statement before I get to this man law? 'Cause I gotta let loose some issues.
Oh, Lord.
My final statement is we had 2 really good people on here that gave a lot of good
Yes.
information and good knowledge. We must understand as a people how to build wealth, how to make our generations grow. Every generation should grow from the last generation. That means having life insurance, so when you die, people don't have to raise no money, because you're supposed to leave money when you die,
So
not
time out,
take
Twin.
money.
You tell me we can
And-
have a fish fry to bury you?
Hey, I don't even
wanna
want to
make
be
sure.
buried.
I
I want to be
cannot.
look. I want to be cremated. I want my ashes in the grill when you do the ribs. That's what I want.
That's gonna be some
You
good
know what I'm
ass
talking about?
eating
That's right. I want them pork ribs to have a
I'm
twang to
done.
them. You know what I'm talking about? And that's gonna be my ashes. But
I'm not eating
also, I digress. But also, we have to take care of each other. So when you
Yes.
buy property, you buy
Yes,
real
we
estate,
do.
you're not doing it just for you, you're doing it for your children. Because if nothing else, at some point, if they sell that, that could be money that can go to them when you're no longer here. We just need to understand how to do better as far as furthering our generations and making them better. Just focus on that and believe in yourself.
Amen.
That's a great statement. All right, it's time.
All
I
right.
got some issues.
Okay, you do.
My dude, my dude,
Why?
Tom, my brother, we miss you. Recently, I was placed in Facebook jail. My account was locked for 3 days for posting a picture of the baddest radio show team in the world for alleged graphic nudity. Now, maybe because DC be wearing those fly outfits, they didn't know.
Who?
Yeah, you be wearing those fly outfits, so Facebook shut us
Oh,
down.
yeah, that's a fly.
Those fly outfits
the
got
boots.
shut down for 3 days.
It's the
Those
boots.
gold boots, they was like they couldn't see. The gold boots was just so fire, they put us in jail for 3 days. That's no promotion. That's no radio business. That's no
Wow.
nothing for 3 days.
They didn't say why.
They said why? They
Because
said-
of my boots?
No, they said that it was alleged nudity, and then they said, my bad, we made a
I
mistake.
was nude?
So when
Oh, wow.
Tom, I got a great idea. I'm willing to sell it to you because it didn't work out for me.
That's
But you
crazy.
got those skills, brother. Let's go, let's team up, and let's take down this Mark Zuckerberg, and let's shut it all the way down Facebook. Because at this point, I can't spend another 3 days in Facebook jail.
Hey, that's him talking. I love Facebook, man.
We all
I'm
love
cool.
Facebook.
I'm cool
You
with you,
can kiss
Mark.
my home.
I'm cool. I'm cool with you, Mark. We cool.
We
But
love
Tom,
Facebook.
come back soon, brother. I'm sorry I left MySpace. Congratulations,
MySpace.
you played yourself. Come back, Tom. Come back. You friended everybody on MySpace. You were everybody's first
my
friend on
God.
MySpace. Come back, baby. Come back home. We can't deal with Zuckerberg no more. Come back, baby. We love you, Tom. We miss you, baby. And for whomever it may concern, whoever showed up at Gold's Gym on Sunday and had the gym shut down for 2 days, stay your sick hind pots at home next time, because you messed up all my games.
This
So
is
I'm
not
beefing
gonna
with you
be
for
good.
real. But Tom,
Yup, it's
come
time to
back
get
soon. I
Unpacked.
got a great idea for you, brother.
You all have a
Come
great
back.
evening. We appreciate you watching.
So lock us in on
Listen.
He's
YouTube.
tripping.
See
He
us
tripping
next
tonight at the
Friday and
end.
get
Nah,
We
Unpacked.
I'm being
appreciate you
real.
watching.
Tom, come back soon.
We love y'all. Salute to all my soldiers.
Exactly. Get Unpacked next Friday.
That's right. Get Unpacked
yes.
Radio.
Oh,
We
next Friday, we
always
talking
here.
to my man Patrick Gibson, and we talking about gloves up, guns down.
Oh, that's gonna be powerful, and it'll be definitely needed. Definitely.
Once again, we talking
Yeah.
gloves up, guns down.
Where
And
are the
I got
real
some
men?
mom questions from my wife, so it's gonna be interesting next week. See y'all next week. Salute.
Vintage got the heat.